Hi, beautiful. Hi, handsome. How are you today? I hope you have had a good week or day or month. And if you haven't, and life has been lifing, I would just like to remind you that you are worthy of love. You are worthy of love not because of anything you have done, but because the one who created you says that you are worthy of love and treats you as so. And did all those things. God literally, Jesus left paradise, left heaven, left this blissful place with no pain, chose to live on this planet and experience the same life you have been experiencing and probably harder. Because there's a scripture, I think it's in Isaiah. You can Google it, I'm pretty sure you'll find it. It says that Jesus was familiar with pain. You can imagine the kind of life and the kind of experiences Jesus had for him to have been tested and tempted in every way. That includes a lot of pain. And then died a very gruesome death just to have relationship with you. If that doesn't make you feel worthy of love, I do not know what will, honestly. So no matter what happens, remember you are worthy of love because God says you're worthy of love and treats you as such. And there will be times in your walk with God, especially after an encounter or after you have gotten a sense of the holiness of God or the glory of God, that you will feel unworthy of the things that God has for you. You will feel unworthy of your calling, unworthy of love, unworthy of forgiveness, unworthy of certain amount of money you might be earning, unworthy of this girl or this guy who is so amazing and you're so broken, and all these things. A time will come when you will feel unworthy, and it's often before you enter into the next level. And this happened to Peter in Luke 5. I was reading it a couple of days ago and I found it really interesting. Probably it was yesterday or the day before, but that's not important. When the first disciples were being called, they had been fishing all night, they're frustrated. And then Jesus just walks up to them and is like, hey, fish on, cast your nets on that other side. And it's like, dude, they could have been like, we're the experts, we've been here all night, we're tired. But out of reverence for God and or out of reverence for Jesus, they were like, fine, we'll just do this because you have said so. And this is Luke 5, you can check it. And Simon Peter, he answered, Master, we have worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, because you say so, I will let down the net. When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled their partners in the other boat to come and help them, and they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. Like, that's crazy. But you're imagining you've been fishing all night and then you're just told cast your nets and it's like, okay, we've worked hard, but because you have said so, I'll do it. And then you catch so many fish, sorry. You fill two boats and those two boats start to sink. Are you imagining the amount of fish or the number of fish that these guys caught? And when Simon Peter saw this is verse 8, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man. He was like, I don't need this. I'm sinful. His response to that glory, that encounter, that moment of awe, like what just happened, you can see he felt unworthy and he was like, get away from me. I don't deserve to be in your presence. I am sinful. I know myself. I know what I've been doing, what I have watched. I know what I'm capable of. I don't know how to speak like that. And if we put Simon Peter aside, you can see the same pattern. Jeremiah was called by God. He was like, hey, I'm too young. No. Moses was called by God and he's like, I can't speak, I can't go back. There's always just a myriad of excuses. Response to being called is fear. There's that fear that comes in. There's that kind of anxiety, that kind of feeling of unworthiness. And you might be experiencing that today, where you have kind of an inkling of what God has for you, of what God is calling you into, and you feel unworthy. And look at what Jesus responded. Okay, let me just take you back a bit. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, "Go away from me. I am a sinful man." For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken. So were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, Simon's partners. And then Jesus said to Simon, "Don't be afraid." Jesus picked up that fear, that feeling of, oh my gosh, don't be afraid. From now on, you will catch men. And that reassurance was so deep and so supernatural. Verse 11 said, so they pulled their boats up on shore, left everything and followed him. Jesus will reassure you. It isn't like, oh, so I've done this for you, and after all I've done for you, after all this pursuit, I've helped you out, and then now you're chasing me away. Fine, car, I don't need this, stay. That's not how God responds to us. God doesn't have this low self-esteem kind of problems like, oh, how could you reject me after everything? No, it's like, oh yeah, I can sense you're afraid. Don't be afraid. From now on. And then Jesus told them what lay ahead of them. And you might be at that point where you feel unworthy before a new job, before a new relationship, before this calling that seems bigger than you, and God calls you into the next thing that you're meant to be doing. You might feel unworthy, but do not be afraid. And then listen to what God is saying. Simon Peter didn't, like run away and be like, I don't need this. None of these people shut it down, and they were called and they were like said in their hearts, okay, I'm gonna go. Blue tick, ghost, not gonna say anything. I'll just smile and wave and disappear. It was, they brought their petition to God. I can't speak. I'm too young. Simon Peter fell at the knees of Jesus. Instead of running away from the presence of God, he was like, get away from me. Like, that's such an authentic reaction though, right? And I love that the Bible has real people with real experiences and real reactions. It doesn't like sugarcoat stuff. So if this is you, don't be afraid. Feeling unworthy is normal. Express it. Don't keep it within. Express it and let God affirm you. Let the peace of God wash over you, and then get up and do the thing. It's not in your own strength. Yeah, that's the encouragement for you today. I have nothing more to say. Go have fun. Go do the thing. And yeah, it's normal. It happens.